Welcome in. Picture this. It's Thursday night, you're staring at your phone, trying to fill that Friday shift. Half your team wants that Friday locked in forever. The other half wants to text you Wednesday asking if they can work it. And right in the middle stands you, trying to make one schedule serve two completely different workforces. This isn't a story about good workers versus bad workers, or flexibility versus rigidity. Scheduling is no longer just an administrative task. It has become the center of trust, retention, and operational survival. Trying to balance stability and on-demand flexibility at the same time? That is the impossible math of modern restaurant management, and today we are going to solve it. But here's the thing. This crisis is bleeding your business dry. The lie everyone believes is that endless flexibility equals a happier team. The reality is bleeding revenue. Turnover in food service runs between 75 and 107% industry-wide and climbs to 150% in quick service. Replace one back-of-house worker and $1,491 is gone. A server, $1,800 to $2,300. For a 40-person restaurant, that's 28 replacements every single year. But the spreadsheet doesn't capture the real cost. The deeper damage comes from resentment, inconsistency, and the quiet loss of trust. When your most reliable people get bumped for a last-minute request, your service quality flatlines. So the real question isn't whether to be flexible, it's how do you stop the hemorrhaging without playing favorites? So what do most managers try? The most common approach is informal triage. Top performers get first choice, everybody else gets what remains. On paper, that seems efficient. In practice, it quietly teaches the team that value is distributed unevenly and sometimes unpredictably. You pull your loyal top performing closer off their regular shift to appease a new hire's flexibility request, and your best asset starts updating their resume. The middle group feels invisible. The newer employees feel blocked. You try on-call shifts, but in Seattle and many other cities, that's now illegal under predictive scheduling laws. And you end up Sunday night, phone glued to your hand, negotiating like a babysitter, desperately texting to fill gaps while everyone feels slighted. Monday morning, the same impossible puzzle, now with broken pieces. The gap is clear. Existing scheduling logic tries to optimize operational needs, individual preference, and team-wide fairness all at once, and you simply cannot maximize all three. So what if we stopped treating this as a performance problem and started treating it as a structural one? Here's the real turning point. Instead of sorting employees by performance ranking, separate them by scheduling type. Create two distinct crews. Core crew is built around stability, key shifts, predictable hours, schedules posted 2 weeks in advance, and a clear expectation of commitment. They are your operational anchor, the foundation pillars your restaurant is built on. Flex crew is built around defined flexibility, limited request windows, surge coverage, and explicit boundaries rather than improvised chaos. Stop cannibalizing your core crew's stability to feed the flex crew's spontaneity. Build that constraint directly into your scheduling software. Let employees trade shifts as a safety valve for life's unexpected moments. And make advancement from flex to core depend on demonstrated reliability. Most importantly, tell people upfront during the interview which crew fits their life and let them choose. The innovation here is not more flexibility. It is structured flexibility paired with protected stability. Now here's what actually happens when you implement this system. Your top performers stay because they finally get the predictable security they have earned. The middle group stops bleeding out quietly because the path to advancement is now visible and transparent. Prove reliability in the flex tier, earn a spot in core. Your flex crew gets genuine flexibility within a structure they actually understand going in. Your restaurant gets reliable staffing for revenue-generating shifts every single Friday and Saturday. The Sunday night text messaging panic disappears. You stop moving your best people around like chess pieces. People can tolerate change. What they cannot tolerate is inconsistency that feels unfair. The rules are now legible. The conflict no longer hides behind improvised exceptions and emotional negotiation. Operational sustainability wins every time over attempted universal happiness. Once you see it that way, the implications stretch far beyond the weekly schedule. This framework reshapes hiring, retention, legal compliance, and customer experience all at once. In cities with predictive scheduling laws, Seattle, San Francisco, Chicago, and more, you are already legally required to forecast weeks in advance. By building those constraints into your tech stack, compliance becomes automatic instead of stressful. The financial impact is massive. Stop replacing 28 people a year, and you recover tens of thousands of dollars. Service quality stabilizes because core shifts are always staffed by your most reliable people. You stop the invisible turnover, the middle group that used to drift out silently. Your own sanity returns. Peer-to-peer shift trading gives your staff the human safety valve they need for real life without destroying your baseline. Recruit for schedule fit as intentionally as you recruit for skill fit. Define core staffing levels numerically, not vaguely. Let software enforce the rules so you are not constantly pulled into case-by-case exceptions. Most importantly, flexibility becomes a managed, honest offering, not a vague promise that breeds resentment. Now we arrive at the uncomfortable truth that changes everything. The paper ultimately asks managers to abandon a fantasy, the idea that great leadership means pleasing everyone all the time. Instead, it proposes something more durable, designing a fair system that makes trade-offs explicit. You have to be willing to let people self-select out when you explain the system honestly. Some people want Marcus's security with Tyler's flexibility. Those people were never going to be fully committed. And that's okay. Fairness does not mean identical schedules for everyone. It means clear roles, clear boundaries, and clear consequences that people understand before they ever commit. In that world, Marcus is not being favored as a person. He occupies a role that requires and rewards reliability. Tyler is not being dismissed. He occupies a role that prioritizes flexibility with less predictability attached. Some people will walk out that exit door when the boundaries become real. Treat that not as failure, but as healthy sorting. Honesty over appeasement. Sustainability over promised happiness. That is genuinely kinder than keeping people trapped and resentful in a broken system. So here is the bottom line. The scheduling crisis in restaurants is not caused by flexibility itself. It is caused by pretending one undifferentiated schedule can satisfy two fundamentally different kinds of work arrangements. The answer is not more improvisation. It is clearer design. Define your core staffing needs numerically, not vaguely. Separate stable roles from flexible roles with explicit rules, not gut instinct. Protect the people who anchor your busiest shifts. They have earned that. Offer flexibility, but with real boundaries and real honesty attached. And tell the truth about the trade-offs from the very first interview conversation. Your restaurant needs Marcus on Friday nights, and Marcus needs the security of knowing Friday is his. Your restaurant needs surge coverage, and Tyler needs structured flexibility with defined limits. Honor both deals. Stop trying to solve this with more accommodation. Solve it by being crystal clear about what you need, what you can offer, and what you cannot. Then find people who genuinely match that reality. That is not just scheduling. That is leadership. Start this week. Pick one shift. Ask yourself who absolutely needs to be core for this to work, and build from there. Like and subscribe for more helpful videos like this. Connect with Forks for the experienced accounting professionals your restaurant needs. Details in description below.